Good afternoon, everybody. It's Connie. I'm live, and I, been scrambling around, cleaning up my craft room, trying to get everything in order, and oh my goodness, what a mess I have made it. I've got too many projects going at the same time. Anyway, so got my pop. So this little stamp set is one that I've shown the last couple of lives that I bought twice. Yes, I have more that I could give away that I have purchased twice, but this one's Christmassy and I really love it. And so I put everyone who commented, I put their names in a cup. Not many people commented. You guys, I feel like I've lost a lot of people watching and it makes me sad, but anyway, I'm gonna just stir these up and not look. And all right, and I've drawn a name, and the name is Karen Snyder. Karen Snyder, you are the winner of this stamp set. Congratulations, and I will get it to you. Yay! Congrats. And I'll have more of those kinds of things coming up, because when I was starting to purge and clean, I realized I don't know if I'm going to have enough to sell at Daisy Lane or not the next time they have a sale. And I did make some money, but it is really nice to give things away to people that I know and who are supporting me. And, you support me when you watch these videos. Okay. Anyway, so today I really just wanted to play with some of the stamp sets for Christmas and make some cards. And I really like this Sentimental Wishes one. It was one of the first ones I bought. And at first I was like, that stocking is so fat. I'm not crazy about it. I just don't love it. But today I thought, I'm going to color it. I'm going to see. And I really love this. And I love the bow. So I'm like, okay. I just need to do some. The other thing that I wanted to mess around with a little more is the Christmas postage, or the postage, the Stampin' Up! Dies. I used these two biggest postage dies for that, because I thought, why not try to make a little bit of the postage stuff. And I got out my sentiments. I have a couple of sentiments. This is the Christmas labels. I love this little Be Merry, and it's the one that I want to use on here. I love all of them, actually. I just think they're so cool looking. So I thought I'd start by picking, I have a card base here, and I know I want a green background and then my, postage, and I can't decide if I want it to be green. This is jade green, which is very bright, or more of a mossy green. And I think the mossy green looks a little more retro, and I'm kind of going for that style a little bit. So this is my plan. So today I'm going to do some coloring, and I know sometimes that gets long, but I'll try to not be too bad. I have a couple of colors of green. I have the dull green blend and the yellow green blend. I do not have, I feel like I am missing some colors in my arsenal for trying to match this olive tone of green. And I think I need to investigate a few new colors of some of my markers. Now, there is, when I did that Crop and Create Delivered, that event, they sent us the OLO markers, and I was really excited to try them. And I really like them, and I can show you the difference between those. Let me grab them. So these OLO markers, the difference in these is that this, if you pop this open, like to fill it, and I don't know, there, it has like a felt inside, and you drip your refill in and fill it, and then you have more color. These OLO markers are totally liquid on the inside. They're just fluid. And so you don't pop those open. I don't think they come with refills. I think they're intended to be a lower price point and a replaceable thing. I could be totally wrong on that. I believe that is the case though. So the way these work is there is a center piece that you can buy, that you can get with the markers. Each of these is a separate marker, and it's filled with fluid with ink, filled with ink, and then you can twist together colors that like coordinate. Like here I have like a rose 5.3 or a red 5.3 and a red 5.5, and they do it like on a spectrum kind of scale. So for example, you know, the bigger the number, the more the darker the shade kind of thing. And they are alcohol markers, and they're blendable just like alcohol markers are. And a lot of the people online are starting to use these OLO markers. So I was kind of excited to give them a try, and you can put different colors together. You can buy the individual markers, and they come as these little short stubs, and then you twist together colors that go together. You know what I mean? I just think, you know, it is, they do blend very nicely and stuff. I feel like my tri-blends are still a little easier because I know my, you know, like the colors are all on one marker, but you can see how pretty that is. It works really well. And then they gave us a green. You know, that green isn't terrible for these leaves. Let me just see how that, not terrible. That's kind of a mossier look. I might be able to try that. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that these are really different. And the reason I'm waiting to buy anything with these markers is that they're coming out with a different tip. I used to think I only wanted the brush tip because when I colored, the brush tip was the one I always reached for with the Copics that I had. And then I realized as I started using this like bullet tip that I don't color very well with a brush tip. It's too sloppy, it's too big. I need the smaller size. And right now the OLOs come with the brush tip. So I'm just waiting because they said they're coming out with different tips. So we'll see how that goes. And if I get them, I'll certainly share with you all what I find or what I think. So, but I really love these Spectrum Noir markers. You know I'm in love with these. And then yesterday, Annette or somebody told me that somebody else purchased the Spectrum Noir marker. I don't know, like somebody else started making them or what the deal is, but Somebody said they're not as good. And I haven't bought any for a little while, and I've noticed that they've really gone discounted online. Right now I colored the whole thing with light, and now I'm going a couple shades darker and just sort of going along the veins of the leaves to try to get some darker color on the leaves, just some variegation. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's, you know, but anyway, I don't know. I know when I go to a lot of the websites now, a lot of these tri-blends, you can get, where it used to be when they first came out, an entire box was about $108 to $120, depending on, depending on who was selling them. And then I'm going to go to the very darkest now, and I'm just going to do a little swooping on there. So am I close enough? Am I zoomed in enough for you to see anything? I notice sometimes when I rewatch this, it's hard to see what I'm doing when I color. Anyway, I've noticed that you can get a whole box that used to be $108 to $120 for like $65, which is a deal because I love these markers. So shop around a little bit for them if you want to buy them. They're probably, I wondered if they were like clearancing them or something, because why would they be so cheap? Anyway, I love them. I love them. They are my favorites by far. So I might buy, I have a lot of the refills. I went to Dick Blick and bought as many individual colors as I could so that I could just refill my markers a little bit. And now I'm going to use Earth Brown just to do the stems a little bit. I don't want them like really pronounced on here. They need to be colored a little bit. Anyway, yeah, I'm tempted to buy another box just because I can. Okay, I have my dark red blend, and when I look at my dark red blend chart, the first three are the marker that I have. I have the main red, middle red, and the third red. And you have to go to a second marker to get the super dark shades. But since I have this background with the red, I'm like, I don't want it too crazy. So I'm just going to do the berries, and they look a little one-dimensional, all in the same, color, and I'm very tempted to put just a dot or two of shading on there, and I might. And I'm also going to make a red bow. So I'm using the lightest shade of the dark red blend. Now, seeing the OLO markers, I can't remember what their numbers go up to. It's like, you go to like a 5 all the way up to like a 7 or something like that, Anyway, I'm going to go to a darker color. I'm going to go to the darkest red on this, which is dark red 4. And I'm just going to shade on my bow. It really does matter. It does make a difference when you add that little bit of darkness on there. Hope you can see that. It's not like in this, I'm gonna splat a dot on each circle. I am not doing anything but adding like a little dot to the edge of each circle. And I just want it to look a little dimensional. It doesn't have to be crazy dimensional, but I'll show you that too. I hope it's like focusing. Sometimes. Whoosh. Now, my plan is to put my holly down like that and put a bow at the top. And then at the top, I want it to say something. Like you could say love and joy, or peace on earth, or celebrate the holidays. You could use a more scripty font. Merry Christmas, the most wonderful time of the year. You could do something like that. I love this Be Merry. I think it has a little bit of a kind of a retro look, and that's what I'm going for. So let me get my block. And what color should I do that in? I could do it in green. I could do it in black. I like the idea of the green. So I'm going to use my New England Ivy, which it's not a perfect match. If I'm going to buy any Stampin' Up! Ink, which I've sworn I will not do until they change their case style, because I'm so bad at using those cases. But if I did buy one, it would be the green. Oh, what is that called? Mossy Meadow, I think. But that is the green that I'm probably use the most. And my New England Ivy is a very close match to it. So far I've been okay. The other thing I want to do, I want to put a little shading around here, and I'm not sure what color. I keep going back and forth and back and forth. And I think I want maybe a little gray, maybe a real light mink or something. Let me grab it. Now, yeah, I think that'll work. I don't know what color I used on this last time, and it certainly doesn't look like mink. But, so I want to show you how I clean these again. I'm going to show you, this is a trick that I learned in one of those crazy classes, but I've been doing it for a while. I bought the isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle, and you just spray it onto your rag, and swish your brush around onto, this is just a microfiber cloth, and you can see that it cleans it off. Look at that. And it's alcohol, so it dries so fast. So that way you don't, if you're gonna do a light color of ink and you really don't know what color you used on your brush before, or you have like one brush and you're using it for every color, make sure that you know, kind of wipe it off really, really good between colors, or clean it in between colors. I used to use a little bit of soap and water to clean my brushes, and what I found is that they don't dry. I mean, really don't dry for a long time. And so it's not easy to just go between colors with that, you know, because your brush is wet. And so that's just something to think about. Okay. I just wanted a little something on there. I don't want it too bold. All right. And see, now I don't clean my brush every single time I use it, but I do wipe them off a little bit just to get the excess ink off. Okay, let me put that away. Put that away. Okay, now I have this, and I can put my little things on here. Let me grab some. I'm looking for my thin adhesive. I guess that'll do. I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'll put this one down. I don't want a lot of adhesive because I want to be able to mail this thing without anything too crazy. All right, there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on with that's flat. Okay, and I'll just put that like that. And then I think for my bow, I do want just a really small amount of there. Just a little bit of foam tape right there. Okay, now to make this look a little more like postage, I own like gobs of postage. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, I dropped my glue on the floor. All right. Just gonna put that there. Okay, I own gobs and gobs of postage, cancellation marks and all kinds of stuff. This is an oldie that I've had for a while. I think it's club scrap. And I just thought it would be kind of cool to make it look like a postcard. So I'm going to get out a little block and I'm going to put like the postage on the corner. I should stamp this on a scrap something because I haven't done this for a little while. Oh yeah, I like how that looks. And I think that'll look great. So I'm gonna put it right up there. And then I want cancellation marks across. I want cancellation marks across there. And let's see. My rubber stamps like this, the unmounted ones, I tack it over and over on the back, and so they're like peel and stick. And I'm just going to, put that cancellation mark on there. And I kind of don't want it to be like the boldest. Let me see how that looks. What would it be? Second generation. Better. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it once on my scratch, and then I'm going to stamp it across here. I love that. It does look, like a postcard. I love it. I love it. Clean that off. Get rid of my scrap. Okay. So I have gobs of this. I have like a hoarding problem with this postage stuff. I do a lot. I play with these a lot. I keep them all together. I have a big drawer full of postage things. Just love them. Love them. Okay, I have my card base. Let's put this together. So I feel like every time I turn around, I have, I'm getting out postage. Oh, look at that. I like that light side. But the dark side is cool. That's just the way it's gonna be. And I would pop this up a little bit, but like I said, here I am putting like 3 layers on already, and I really do want to mail this without a hitch. So I'm just gonna put this on. I do think this top layer would look really nice, popped up a level, but look how cute that is. And you can just barely see my shading around, but it does add to it a lot. So I really like how this looks. There's card number 1. I could put a little bling on it. I could put a little stickles on there, or even just a couple of gems, and I may. Okay, there's one. Done. Let's do the next one. So the other thing I really wanted to play with is this paper. You know, this paper is that, oh, please, why do I never remember the names of things? It's anyway, gold foil, winter paper. I've been using them a lot. And this is the particular color I don't know. I haven't really used much. And I thought it would be really nice on a card base and make a really pretty card. I'm kind of torn as to whether I want to add more gold. Hold on a sec. Let me grab a panel. Gotta grab a gold panel. I could do a turquoise panel, but okay, let's do this. I'm gonna trim this down, and this one is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this will be on my card itself. I can go ahead and put that on so I don't have all the pieces that I'm dealing with. When I put it on a whole full panel, I usually put the panel on starting at the fold, because if you cut it a little long or cut it a little off, it's easier to trim on this open base, where you could just put the whole card in and trim, as opposed to having it off up here where you would have to like use your scissors to do it. All right. Which one do I like better? They're both great, right? They're both great, whatever. I'm going to trim this down by 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to make this one 4 by 5 1/4. So that, wow, look at that side. Isn't that pretty? That, you know, when I look at this paper, what I see is that there's a stamp set that has a shepherd in it, and he's like looking at the North Star. And the back of that paper would be the best night sky. Oh, I love it. Okay, so there's my card base. I've been playing around a lot with the embossing folders, and this one is that wood grain one, and I cut this circle out. That's the spotlight circle, and I want to put it on here. It's a little much, but we might be able to tone that down just a little bit. We'll see. Sometimes what I will do is I will take a circle of the same size and put like behind it. Wow, I really need to do that. I really need to make a circle that's the same size. Hold on a minute. I'm so sorry. I come up with these things as I go, and then I don't even know what size of circle that is. It is definitely not 3. It's a little bigger than 3. So, I'm gonna mess around with that. But so for now, we'll just put that on there. Okay. And then here I am again with my pieces. I really want to use this little stocking, and I want some greenery to tuck behind it, and I want a bow. So here I am with the coloring again, and what I did was I kind of put this up to my marker colors to see like what I had that was close. And the closest color I have to this turquoise is the blue turquoise in the super dark, right down there, right there. And so I don't really have anything darker than that to shade with. So I got out all of my blue turquoise and I thought, okay, I definitely know I need to use that color. The other thing is red with this is a little, it goes, but it doesn't go as well as pink. And so I want to use some of the pale pink shades, and I think I'm going to make my stocking pink. Is that too weird? And so I'm going to use, when you look at this, I have like the first marker I have is the top 3 shades. The second marker I have are these bottom 3 shades of pale pink. And so I think I'm going to use the bottom 3 shades. So I'm going to start this time with the darkest color. And I'm going to just scribble in a little bit of shading, you know, outline and where you would expect to see a little shading. And then I'm going to go in with the second color and I'm going to just go around all those edges and start coloring to smooth out that line that I just made. Like I don't want a harsh line. Like if I stopped right there, you can see there is a line right there. And so I kind of want to go over it, add more of the alcohol like that. And I'm just kind of going real light then over the middle. And then I'm going to go with the palest color of this marker. And I'm going to go over the center and the whole thing to just sort of blend it together. And when you add a light color to this dark color, the alcohol kind of erases, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of dilutes a little bit. So I think that's kind of a cool combo with this. And then I just need to decide what color I want to do the bottom part of the stocking. I could do it the dark color, I could do it turquoise color. I'll hold off on that for a minute and decide. While I'm deciding, let's do some green. I want to do a different green than I did before. Before I did the dull green blend, I feel like greens is where I'm lacking. So the dull green blends are down here. And the citrus green, you can see they're all kind of limey. And then when you go up here in the light greens and alpine green, that's where you get into more of a truer green. And when you look at this turquoise color, the limey greens don't look quite as good. So I thought, well, I'll just go with my light green blend. And on this one, I'm gonna do, you know, light all over, and it's not going to be what I land on. I just want the base color to be that light green. And this piece that I'm working on right now, I just didn't have enough paper, so it didn't stamp all the way, it didn't cut all the way. I don't know. So I'm just going to tuck it behind. Okay, I'm going to go with the middle and kind of do the center of each leaf. And I am, you know, not too careful here. I just want the leaf to be a little darker, but I want the tips of the leaf to still be, you know, a lighter color. Let's see. So the very tips of the leaf are still the lightest color, and then I scribbled in the second color. Now I'm going to do the darker green just at the base of each leaf, and I'm going to follow that center line. So the base of the leaf, and then just follow the center line. I'm not like the world's best colorer. I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to spend all day coloring. Like sometimes when I watch people color like with Copics and stuff, it's shocking to me how much time they spend going over and over and over the same little tiny area. Too much for me. Okay, I'm going to use the darkest color, and I am just going to kind of go over the greenery because I want it to be green, but I don't want to color all day. So, and you got to realize this is a Christmas card. I mean, even though you want it to be beautiful, most people are not going to keep it forever. It doesn't have to be a work of art. I do try to make it pretty, you know? Okay, so there's my darkest green. If I want to shade at this point, there's two ways to do it. One is to go back in with your same color again and just add more. Just add more. The other way that I want to show you is if you take a gray, a cool gray, a brown gray, and use like, you know, the darkest shade on your marker, and you go in with the gray on those just a little bit, you will darken that color. So like if I don't have the green that I'm looking for and I want it to be darker, I can add a little bit of gray to it and it will deepen it. Okay. Candy canes, let's add some red. It is time to, now see with a brush, I'm not even great with candy canes with a bullet point. I can't even imagine me, the brush tip, I would be a disaster coloring. So I'm just, you know, putting that on. And then I do want some red packages, so I'll make this one red. And what else do I need? I'll put this one red, the bow. So I think that's pretty good. And then I'm gonna go with I'll do my dark tone red, and I am just going to darken up where it would be shaded a little. Especially on that bow, because I do want it to look a little bit shaded. The other thing on the pink, I could use the lightest color of red if I want it even more shaded. I could add a little bit of like red to the edge of that stocking. And what it does is the stocking is still pink, but it shades that stocking a little bit. See that? Cool, 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 cool. All right, let's do the berries again. I'm just dotting them. And then I'm gonna take the dark and I'm dot, 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 just to add a little shading, just like that. I think that looks really, really nice. I think this bow is gonna have to be the turquoise color. All right, I think that's all my red. I think I want some pink packages. So let's use the softest pink, and we'll make this package pink and this package pink. Nice. I like that. Very good. And I think I'm going to use the next shade to just kind of add a little extra color to where this package would be shaded. Okay. Now we can go into our blue and turquoise colors. Now I'm going to use these are blue turquoise blend, and these are the lights and the darks. So here's our range. It goes all the way from here to here. And you know, I'm just going to start with the super light and color what I want in this turquoise color. Because maybe the lightest color will be fine. And oh, I missed a ribbon. Go figure. There's some kind of stuff. I'll probably end up covering that up with a bow. And then I think I want this ribbon to be turquoise. And I definitely want this one to be. So I'm coloring it with the softest color. I hope I'm on camera here. And then I'm gonna go darker. I'm gonna go like a couple shades darker. And I'm gonna shade down the edges and the sides. Do a little bit. I'm just going to dot some darker color in there. This needs to be shaded with the very darkest turquoise. So I'm going to color a lot of this. I want some of the light color of turquoise to show, but I know I'm going to use some of the very darkest color I've got over here, because I want it to be closer to this background. And so I'm just going to keep moving up on the spectrum until I get the colors that I really love. And I want to get closer to that background. It's getting closer. Okay, let's go with the very deepest shade. Yeah, it's very overwhelming. And I'm just gonna do a little outline-y kind of thing to start. The middle of that bow. And then just a little tiny bit of shading on the edges. All right, I think that's pretty good. I like how that looks. Now, I missed a ribbon, so I got to go back and do that. That wasn't very good. And then I kind of want a little bit of gold. And so I got out the Spectrum Noir marker. It's the 3mm, so it's the super fine tip. Oh, that's the big tip. Hold on. I got them out of order. I gotta find my 0.7mm tip. I was like, 3mm, that's not small. Okay, super fine tip. There you go. And I think I want this ribbon to be gold. The problem with this gold is you cover up whatever you paint. So whatever you're coloring, if you've got like if I get back here again and I want these middle, like if I want these middle of these flowers to be gold, you have to be careful or you will cover up the black that you stamped. So there you can see it pretty good, right? Okay, so I think I want a little bit of gold on this package. And so when you color in using these paint pens, they're not transparent. You have to be very careful about how you use them. So, but I do like the gold. So there you go. let's see if it'll, there you go. There's, I put it on that one right there and that little ribbon right there. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to put that on. And so I think I'm going to use, I really like this. I'm not sure, I think I need a gold circle around it, so I'm not going to attach the circle yet, but I will, I'm making a mess with my glue. I will go ahead and start putting this together. I'm going to put this little leaf over here. It'll be peeking out. I'm attaching to embossing, so it just takes a little more oomph. And since this is a card, I don't have to put gobs of foam tape all over it, but just enough so it doesn't sink down in the center. Okay, and I'm gonna put this here like that. And then I have my little bow, and I was just thinking about attaching it right there. Oh, it's so sweet. I really like it. I don't know what it is about this stamp set. It really does kind of like look retro to me, and I'm in that mode for some reason. I have some, the stamps I bought this year, every year I buy a new, I buy a new stamp set of some kind, and the main stamps that I bought that were non-Stampin' Up! This year were these really, really cool, very retro looking stamps. So I think I'm going to make, I like this season's greeting. I love this. It's I just don't know which one I want to use, but I am going to gold emboss one of these messages, and it's going to be down here at the bottom. And I could just do Merry Christmas even, or Happy Holidays, but I will do that off camera. I promise I will finish this card and post it so you guys can see what I end up doing with that, because I really want to get to this last card. Okay, so I have been desperately wanting to play with this Dear Santa set. Yeah, that stocking, it turns out cute, right? But it is some coloring. I mean, come on. Ugh. And I really could, what I usually do is I take even the brown gray blend and use the very lightest color, and I shade just a little bit around the edges of the candy canes, because I think it makes them look dimensional, and it leaves a white stripe like in the middle. All right, focus. Isn't that cute? This set, at first I was like, no, they didn't quite get it right. I mean, the people are just a little bit, I don't know, funky looking. And then I was like, well, they really did get that retro vibe going, and I'm kind of into that retro vibe. So I wanted to play with the postcards again. And then I love this little Dear Santa girl, okay? I mean, she's cute. I found this on Impression Obsessions, has had sales like crazy. And look at this set. Dear Santa, does good-ish count? It was my brother's fault. It was my sister's fault. It wasn't me. The dog did it. The cat did it. Please define good. Can I call my lawyer? Stop judging me. Can we negotiate? It's a long story. It was just a phase. I regret nothing. Okay. I'm telling you, this is, I had to buy it, and I had to buy it to go with this. And I've been kind of playing I made a whole bunch of embossed panels. I did the tile. This is the distress tile. This one is the brick. And I've just been, I don't know, I have a whole like container of embossed panels so that I can just grab them out when something looks good. And then I was playing with my brother's Scan and Cut, and I stamped a whole bunch of this girl on one sheet. And this one is one that I cut on the Scan and Cut without a border. Ignore my wrinkly hands. Okay, but you can see how tight to the line that is. It almost looks like I fussy cut it. And I usually like a border, but I just wanted to see, you know, how it did. And so, did I get out a color for her hair? What color of hair do I want to give this girl? My daughter had yellow hair, but let's see. I think a brown. I think I'll just use the earth brown. And let's get her colored. So I'm just going to color her hair brown. I think she'd be really cute redhead, but all right. So a little bit of the lighter shade all over, go to the middle shade, and kind of darken it where you would think, you know, it would look darker. I would think it'd be the lightest at the crown of her head, like if a light was shining down or something. So that's how I'm doing it. And then the darkest, I'm just going to go over the lines, over the bangs a little bit. And I'm not scribbling. I'm making flicks, flick, 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 flick. And that way it has more like hair strands. I'm trying to get my camera to focus when I do that. Yeah, I very much appreciate your order so much. Thank you, Heather. This close to my heart 30% off sale today is, I decided not to jump on and try to buy stuff. I'm trying to wait until some of the things come in stock. I am waiting for I'm hoping I'm coloring this right. I feel like there's some lines in there. I'm like, is that her shirt? Is that the floor? What is that? I'm going to go with the darkest of the pale pink shade here, and I'm just going to darken up a couple of areas. Anyway, that little bit festive that I have, I have an event scheduled so that we can scrapbook with that. And I'm sad that they bumped it another week. I don't know if it came in and went out really fast. I don't know what happened. I'm going to use the palest, the dark, the red, just a little bit of red on this bow. Like I did on the stocking, I'm going to use a little bit of red on the pink. Like I want her shirt to still be a dark pink, but that red helps with the highlights. I'll go ahead and do her tone too. All right, I need to grab my fair skin color. Just a sec. The fair skin blend, I'm going to start with the palest color. Anyway, I think I'm going to postpone it until December. because I know there are several of you waiting for that festive thing to come in stock. And I'm very frustrated that it keeps getting bumped, and I don't want to do the, I mean, if I want to just show it without you working along, then I could just show it on a Wednesday or a Friday, but I thought it would be a fun thing to do as a group. I'm just shading her skin a little bit. She needs some pink cheeks. I'm going to go back to that pale pink blend in the light color, and I'm just going to dot in her cheeks just a little bit, and then her pants. I think since I'm putting it on here, and I think I'm going to use this minty color, I think I need to go back to a minty color in here. And if you look at the minty greens, ooh, that light jade green is a perfect match. Let me grab it. I don't get to use that color very often. That's the jade green blend in the very, very lightest color. And I will do her pants that color. Anyway, so in the meantime, if I'm going to cancel or postpone the other class, maybe we can do a Simple Stories or Echo Park Christmas card thing that night. So you may see some changes on I might do that later today. Oh, that's so cute. And I like the paper being white, but I'm going to put it up against white. So if it feels like it's too white, again, we could go back to that brown gray blend in the very lightest shade and do just a little bit of color, you know, where it would be shaded. And that way, when it's up against white, it won't look so, you know, it'll have a little contrast like that. It's just subtle. Probably not necessary, but she is really cute. She's cutie. All right, and then I think I'm going to take my white gel pen, and I'm going to add just a little highlight to her bow. And yeah, I like that. Okay, I was thinking about doing her eyes but I think I'm good. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this thing together. I can't decide if I want it on red or do I want it on pink. I think red. I think red is the color. I'm going to put the pink aside, grab a card base, and let's put this together. So I have an Echo Park pack that's Christmassy that, you know, has the things I like. I like to do the ones that have like the little 3x4 pocket cards and stuff, because it really does help to have those to help make focal points on cards. But my Simple Stories pack has that as well. So look at me adding layers. I'm adding layers upon layers upon layers. Check that out. So I went ahead and did the I did a 4 by 5¼ inch panel of red. And then I did the 2 panels of the postage, just for an outline. And then I have the brick wall. I was going to put a little Christmas tree over here on the side, like she's sitting in front of the Christmas tree. I think that would be really, really cute. But for this one, I'm just going to put her on here. So let me put the brick wall down. I measured this smallest postage panel, and then I cut the inside of it 1/4 inch smaller. So I still have the, you know, the edge showing, which is kind of cool. I could have just ran the whole postage thing through the embossing folder, but since I had panels, you know, this works. Okay, I'm gonna pop her up. I'm afraid she's gonna get a little bit lost in my picture if I don't. Let's see, I think I need these cut thin. And so I'll put one there, and I'll put one there. Is that too big? Nope, that's perfect. That works. Okay. So I hope you guys are okay with that. If you are all right with me rearranging dates, that is my plan. You know, I could shade the floor. I probably should. All right, I'm gonna put her on I'm gonna put her on this little plastic thing, because then that way my adhesive won't get weird. And I'm just gonna shade the floor a little bit. And I think I wanna use this mint color. Let me grab it. You could use Glacier. Glacier would be a little softer. And again, I have no idea what color I've used on this last time, so I'm gonna wipe it off really good, because this mint color, it's pale, but it's got some green in it, and all right. Again, this probably would have been better to do before I applied everything and before I embossed it, and you know, whatever. Okay, now I can pick up my little girl off of here. I'm gonna put her down at the bottom and stick her down. Wow, is she cute. Oh, good. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, so now I got to decide. I've got some strips, and I just need to decide what I want to use. It's a hard decision. I know I want Dear Santa. So Dear Santa is a no-brainer, right? So I'll go ahead and got my black. I haven't ever used this before, so I probably need to grab just a scratch piece. There we go. Looks good. Let's see if I can. Dear Santa. And then which one do we want to use? There's so many cool ones. I think if I'm just gonna do one, I like the Please Define Good. I'm gonna use that one. It's hard to decide. There's so many great messages on that. All right. Boy. I like having, you know, I save all those little slivers and strips and things, and in my little holder over here, I have all these different little, you know, scraps and stuff. And I think I'm gonna put these on red. Okay, gosh, this is a great set, you guys. Impression Obsession. Okay. Let's just glue this on. I'll just put it on and then cut the excess off. And then we'll be able to put that on our card. Okay, and now I would put this in a trimmer, but no, I'm just going to cut. And if it's crooked, it's crooked. It helps to use my bigger scissors when I'm doing those big phrases, like our big long cuts though. I tend to be a little straighter than using my smaller scissors. All right. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I absolutely love this. And do I make it cockeyed, like crooked on purpose? I could. All right. And then maybe just a couple little gems or a little red heart on there. Oh my gosh, I love that. That Impression Obsession set is called Dear Santa. And this is what it looks like. It comes in a package like that. 3 by 4 inch set, so it's really small. It's just strips, but it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect for this stamp set. It's adorable. And honestly, gosh, I like it. I like these better than some of these, but all of these go with this little girl perfectly. It's adorable. Okay, so I can probably gem this up a little bit, right? So let's just real quick look at our cards that we did today. We have this one with this cute little girl. Please define good. Gosh, I love it. And then I have some inside messages from, I think they might be from Tailored Expressions or something, that say something like, oh, they might be Honeybee, where on the inside it says, you know, something about being good. I'm gonna have to look those up for you. And then this one, which needs a gold circle, and I'm gonna gold emboss a message on there. What do you think? Do you love them? I hope you like them as much as I do. Wow. I'm pretty happy with this. So 3 Christmas cards done. Yay. And it's been an hour, so I'm out. Yay. Now, I did notice with my scan and cut, there are a couple of images that would not cut well. And they were ones that were sketchy. So like some of these images that have like a lot of like this greenery around that's not a solid line, sometimes that doesn't cut those. So, you know, if you are considering buying one of those, I would say, you know, you're going to have to experiment. I've been playing around with it and experimenting a little bit. So there we go. And look over my photos from yesterday. We made those fall samplers. Wow, they're so cool. Everybody's sampler turned out so nice. I'm so thrilled with how those turned out. It was a very fun afternoon. And so there you go. All right. Yeah, I think the gold circle, I think it needs it. I just need to get out the right circle, and it's not within my reach. It's gonna be a minute. So I'll do that real quick, and then I'll post a photo of the cards. All right. The host code, I moved it back up to the front of the featured section. So if you click on featured, you'll see the host code right at the start when you order, instead of having to hunt for it. I apologize for that. It does get bumped a little bit with my other posts. So, all right. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.